with us on this Fire It Up Friday. Woo! Fire It Up Friday. Yeah, some of you right now are saying, oh, yes, it's payday. Some people are saying, oh, I've been waiting for the weekend to get here. But whatever it is that you call it, hey, I'm thanking you that you're tuning in with us right here on In the Moment with Courtier Kuzan. Hey, we're going to be talking about what is your definition of success today. And I'm going to give you those phone numbers so that you can go ahead and call in. Local number, 318-484-2500. Toll free, 877-464-2500. And folks, we continually appreciate your feedback and all your encouragement and all of the support that you've been giving us. And connect with us also through social media by going ahead and plugging in the Moment with Court or In the Moment with Courtier Kuzan. And please visit our website at InTheMomentWithCourtierKuzan.com. Again, In the Moment with CourtierKuzan.com. And as I've said before, when you go there, I've got a free ebook just waiting for you that's going to be a blessing to your life. Amen. All right, folks, what is your definition of success on this Fire It Up Friday? I mean, so many of us have different definitions, but I tell you what Webster's Dictionary actually says about success is this: the achievement of an aim, goal, ambition, or purpose, or the attainment of wealth, social status, fame, influence, or power. Boy, that sounds like something you'd have on a drama with that definition. 3, the state of being victorious. All right, talking to some church people out there with that one. And then 4, a person that accomplishes desired aims. All right, business owners, entrepreneurs out there, the person that accomplishes desired aims. But the really big question is this, or the real impactful statement about what is your definition of success is this. All right, success actually has a different meaning to each and every one of us. So what is your meaning of success? Okay, it's important to actually determine what success is to you. All right, so what is success to you? Okay, people out there, call on in. We waiting on you. Let's tie those phone lines up. What is actually your definition of success? And trust me, through my years of, as I said, the corporate world, working for someone, starting our own businesses, all of these different things, okay, there's been an up and down thing as far as like what it's personally meant for a level of success to me. Now, I'm sitting right here behind the mic, and, you know, what I would classify as success right now at this point in time in my life is actually being able to give each and every one of you that are listening the tidbits that just get you to, well, make that decision to actually go into what God has actually, you know, basically opened up for you. Now, you might be saying, well, you know, brother, that might be a little cliche because a lot of people actually say that. But, you know, a lot of us don't realize that when it comes to what success is to us, it's about us walking into what our actual purpose is while we're on this earth. OK, and, you know, you hear it so many times about, hey, what would you rather do all your life, even if you didn't get paid for it? And, you know, this is one of the things that I would do even if I didn't get paid for it. And you might say, well, what is that? You know, the Lord actually called me to be that positive agent of change, to identify things in people, the latent potential, the things that, you know, they probably overlooked, that they thought, you know, really didn't matter, to where God could actually bless you through a gifting that's on the inside of you. And I've seen that gifting in, you know, just so many different people. You know, with my wife is really interesting, and I laugh about it all the time, and until it was pointed out. And, you know, you can call it a gift, or you can just call it some just type of anointing that she may have, but it's amazing at how someone can be in almost a state of breaking down from sadness or almost really angry, and the Lord's just giving her this gift to just be able to hug someone. And it's just like, you know, their total persona just changes around. I tell you folks, it's kind of funny to where she actually starts to hug one particular individual, and then you almost see a line of people lining up getting ready for their hugs, you know, just because it changes them so much. You might say, well, what kind of level of success is that? When you can make an impact, okay, when you can make an impact on someone's life and they're at it would seem like their lowest point in life, folks, I tell you what, that is a great outlook about what success truly is. And look, like I said, if you actually want to be successful in your life, I mean, then the very first thing you should do is to, you know, actually take the time to actually decide what it means to you. I mean, we just can't go ahead in and start trying to pattern our lives after someone who we perceive as successful, okay? Because I love it the way, that one time we had a discussion with on Point Talk, with Carlette Christmas, and then we're sitting there with David, and, we talked about that a little bit, and we went into the realm of, okay, you are not able to fit in the mold of someone else and pattern your life after them as far as like what success is supposed to be. I mean, it could be, say, like if you have a brother or a sister and, their lives are just opening up in whatever field that they're in. They may be, a lawyer, they may be a business owner, they may be in entertainment, whatever it may be. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I see how the doors are opening for them. Maybe I should do this thing, okay? You may not be someone that's supposed to be in the forefront of things. You may be someone that God wants to have to specialize in being in the background. And God just increases you in the background of things. I mean, like right now, just for example, God has me as in the forefront of being the face of this radio program, but my wife is in the background of it. But guess what? I see it as equal footing in how God is increasing both of us plus our family and those that are in connection with us, because we each have our roles to play, okay? We each have our parts to play, but it's not one individual person in what we're doing right now that's actually going to make this program successful and continue to be successful as it is. So I just want you to just take that and marinate on that for a moment. Now, look, some questions for you, all right, that'll actually help you in being successful in what needs to be done. And then, for leaders, to actually define, success in their own terms instead of succumbing to what culture actually says success should be. Now, what actually gives you the greatest satisfaction at work and at home? Think of what is actually making you happy at work and at home. What is actually shaping you in your life right now about what success is, okay? I mean, not things that you think, but when you get into the mode of doing those things, what's actually making you happy? What's actually making you happy at work to where you get into it and it's like that's what you want to do the entire time that you're at work. And think about it, when you're at home, what is actually making you the happiest when you are at home? It may be an indicator of what success is that's in your life. And then also, what are the roles you assume on a daily basis and how do they impact you? I know a lot of us, let's just be real. We go through the motions, okay? The big M, the motions. And, we can go through it and we go through this ho-hum existence to where, we're just like looking at the clock. We're just waiting for time to pass by. We're like, oh, my Lord, if I can just hold out to the end of the day. And some of us go through life like that. And something that's really sad is that a lot of us actually go through that in our personal lives, about the point of missing, our moments. Okay, you can be in a state of, instead of going into the full realm of what your success should be, that you totally miss the moment to actually bring about that positive change in your life. I heard it said, when I actually first got saved in the church, that you have opportunities are passing you by every single day. But when we continue to focus on that ho-hum existence that we've allowed ourselves to fall into, then guess what? We will miss those opportunities. And the visual that I've actually had is almost as if opportunities are busting in every single day, and they're passing in front of our homes, passing in front of our places of employment. And then, they wait for a time and they see if you're going to notice them. And then guess what? Opportunity goes to the next house. And it keeps going on until someone is ready to take that opportunity and run with it. Folks, I tell you, we need to really get focused on what it is to have success in our lives, because until we truly know what that success is, guess what? We miss our opportunities, and not only that, but we miss our moments. So when we get back from break, we're going to really get back into putting you into your moment of success. Welcome back to In the Moment with Courtier Kuzan. Hey, fire it up Friday up in here. Let's get heated. All right, we loving you tuning in. And folks, like I said, you can reach out to us at the local number, 318-484-2500, or toll free at 877-464-2500. And we're talking about what is your definition of success. And, like I said before, people have a broad range of what it is to be successful. And, you know, I'm just going to throw that out right now that I actually think one of the most successful positions, if you actually want to call it a position in life out there, or the most successful career, is when a mom takes care of the household. Because I tell you what, until I read like Proverbs 31 of what it was to be a successful woman, you know, the outline of it, you know, I actually really overlooked how much a mother, you know, is like a CEO in the household, all the different hats and all the different things that they're taking care of. And, you know, really find the appreciation for that when I actually had a stint myself of being at home and trying to fall into the role. Men out there that I'm talking to right now, you know what I'm saying? It is not an easy task out there. And believe me, when I when I said you had to really learn how to adapt quickly in that role, I knew just how successful mothers out there. And I'm talking a lot of single mothers out there, okay? I don't know why it's coming up in my spirit right now, but hey, don't look down on where you're at right now. You are successful, okay? You are flowing in what God has you and what God's called you to do right now. So just know who you are and how successful you are in Him. So back onto what we were saying and how being successful is determined by the individual, and like, what is your definition of success? Now, you know, we need to like look, what are the roles, okay? What are the roles you assume on a daily basis, and how do they actually impact you? What are you doing and how is it impacting your life? Are you actually taking steps towards your success, towards your levels of success? And, you know, I heard something before, and I know this, and, you know, I actually do this, and I guess it's kind of just become second nature to me right now, to where, you know, if I don't have, you know, like reading a good, you know, good word from the Lord, or, you know, having a good conversation with someone, I find myself always listening to some type of motivational message or reading some material, to where, you know, how when you do something so much, it just becomes second nature to you. Or, you know, doing research on something, or, you know, improving my, you know, quote unquote education on a certain subject matter. What are you doing to actually improve your levels of success? I mean, we just can't get to the point of saying, you know something, okay, I want to be successful in this certain area of my life. And then you just say, okay, success, come to me. And you don't do anything whatsoever to actually go towards what you have determined your success level needs to be. And, you know, folks, okay, success doesn't come by wishful thinking. You can't rub a little lamp, okay? You can't just say, you know, okay, luck's going to hit me. You can't take it as if it's some type of lottery or a Powerball or whatever the thing out there that they're doing, okay? Success actually takes work. Oh, my Lord. I said that dirty four-letter word on the air, work. Yeah, success is going to take some work. It's something that's actually going to help you to actually get some fortitude, you know, some discipline to actually get you out there. And yes, it's actually going to take a little blood, sweat, and tears every so often to bring about, you know, what you determine success should be in your life. And, you know, what are you going to do when you look back on your life, okay? What are you actually, as an individual, going to be remembered for, you know, by your colleagues, your family members, your friends? What are they going to say about your life? Well, how are they going to say your life has been successful? What are they going to say about how your life has impacted them? You know, I've shared with so many people before about, it sounds strange, but this is how, you know, God actually deals with me. What are you going to do from that time, as they say on your tombstone, from the time you were born, that like dash or hash mark, whatever it is that you're calling in between, in the time that you go home, okay? What's that in between time going to be defined as? And, you know, I look at that, and I've actually sat down myself and, you know, actually thought about, what would my kids actually say about myself, about my wife, as opposed to how we impacted their lives? What would people that we're a part of in the ministry, what would people say in our lives that, you know, we've impacted as far as like being out in the streets? What would people that we've been in business with actually say about how we impacted their lives? And, you know, the thing that actually came to me is that, you know, they would actually say, well, you know, we've been changed in this area. We had a good representation of, you know, what it meant to be a good dad, or a really good mom, or a really good friend, or they were really focused on business, and, you know, they came in and took care of what was needed to be taken care of without actually, you know, slacking off. Or, you know, when we worked for someone, you know, they didn't just ride the clock. They did what was necessary to actually progress the company. And, you know, all those things are great, but, you know, all those things are something that you would actually expect. And I don't know about you folks, because, my definition of success is this. My definition of success is not doing what is expected. My definition of success is doing the unexpected, what people would call the impossible. I've lifted myself up and lifted my family up, is that we want to be world changers. Okay. You might say, well, what does that mean? We want to make such an impact on our community, on our state, our nation, and around the world, to where, when we go somewhere, and like I said, I'm not getting preachy or whatever for you, but when we go somewhere to where they actually see us and they're like, wow, I can see just what God has done in their lives, and just seeing the example of what God's done in our lives and how so many people can just see us, and then it begins to make that positive change in our lives. Do you hear what I'm saying? What would it be to where people could just look at you and how you lead your life, and then all of a sudden it encourages them to be that positive agent of change? I'm talking to somebody out there. I'm talking to somebody that's out there right now, and you're actually watching someone else's life, and that's actually the blueprint, the role model that you have, as opposed to what success is in your life. And folks, look, don't take that lightly. Really don't take that lightly, as far as like how you would be remembered by people that are in your life right now. It should be a motivation for you to actually continue to go forward, to be propelled into what you consider to be success. And, you might say, well, my level of success is, below the bar. It's basically, my level of success may be getting a raise on my job. And that may be success for some people. Or it may be, learning a new skill, and it's 2019. Well, that may be success for you. Whatever your level of success is, do what is necessary to go forward to attain and achieve that success that you have. Okay. Now, what actually provides the greatest satisfaction and meaning for you? That could be a very broad question. What is it that provides the greatest satisfaction and meaning for you? And if you're anything like me, you just can't actually put that in, one category. I mean, there are so many different categories. What is success when it goes in the area of marriage for me? What is success when it comes to, me and my kids? What is success when it comes to, the radio program? What is success when it comes to me, putting God first and foremost in my life? What is success in every area of my life? But something, that's for you to determine. But you may be saying, well, if there's a level of success here, a level of success there, how it's different levels of success. It may be different levels of success, but it's all combined under one umbrella, okay? Because you're not going to have success going this way and success going that way and trying to pull you in many different directions. If you find yourself in that situation, folks, I'm just going to go out and say, you finding yourself in a state of confusion right now, okay? When you're always in the flux, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know what I should be doing. I mean, you may need to take a step back, and the things that you're doing right now may not actually be the things that you're supposed to be doing. If you find yourself in a state of stress, always, I've got to do this, I've got to get this done, the way it seems like you're you're under pressure, okay? Success brings pressure, but it brings pressure to actually, bring you to a greater level. Success shouldn't bring you to a point of having pressure to where you're frustrated, high blood pressure, or whatever it is coming from you. You're losing sleep behind it. Okay? That's not success. That's turmoil in your life. That's toil that's in your life. And that's something that's actually going to bring you down lower instead of progressing you further. Okay? Now, what types of things do you get lost in? I mean, where time literally flies by. Okay, elephant in the room. Elephant in the closet, however you want to say it. Some of you right now may be listening over your cell phones. Great, love it. Some of you may be listening through your radio, through your computers. But hey, what are you doing after you tune in to this radio broadcast? What are you doing to actually go forth to actually increase your level of success? Are you instantaneously going straight to the social media? Oh, my Lord. Now, like I said, so many of us, and we may not even realize it, we can just go ahead and we can actually be wherever we are, homes, job, some places even church, wherever you may be, going to the grocery store. And, I've seen it everywhere, even people driving, which is really, really scary, okay? And they're scrolling through social media. just going through social media. And I mean, it's one of the most terrifying things in the world where you can actually see someone driving in their vehicle. They've got a cell phone in the center of their steering wheel, and they're literally holding the cell phone in the middle of their steering wheel and driving. Folks, that's not success. That's pretty much a design for you to just go ahead and kill yourself, okay? But what is your success? What is your definition of success? And you might say, wow, he's saying it over and over. Trying to drive it home, trying to get it there. What is your definition of success right now in this moment? What is open up to you that is something that you should be doing right now as opposed to what you've been doing every single day? Folks, it's time to make that decision. On this Fire It Up Friday, what is it that's going to burn on the inside of you to get you in your moment? At the end of the moment with Courtier Kuzan, hey, it's Fire It Up Friday up in here. We're talking about what is your definition of success. And for all you that are calling in, let me go ahead and repeat that number one more time. Local number 318-484-2500, toll free 877-464-2500. And we're talking about, yet again, what is your definition of success? And, you know, I just actually had this thing that popped up in my mind right before we came back from break to, like I said, a lot of people out there, you know, they would listen to someone that's on the airwaves or see someone at this point in time in their lives and say, wow, that individual's actually got it all together. I mean, wow, I would just really love to have my life to just like blossom and change just like their lives have. But see, a lot of people, like you've heard it before, you don't see what has happened to get people to a certain level. You don't know the process, okay? You don't know what they've gone through. You don't know the hurts, the pains, the ups and downs. You don't know how, you know, God had to step in and give them a way out of a certain situation. You don't know people that went out of their way. You don't know people that sold into their lives financially. There's a lot of different things, you know, behind the scenes that people don't know. Okay. And a lot of people get under this type of conviction because of what they see on the exterior, but you don't know the whole story. Okay. You don't know the whole entire backdrop of people. And you know what? Right before we came back from break, as I thought, you know, some people have a level of success right now. Okay. And I'm talking to all those that think they just cannot make it right now. I mean, when I reached 18 years of age, you know, I actually jumped up and shouted, and this is real deal. I actually jumped up and shouted, oh, my Lord, I made it. I'm still alive. I made it. I am alive at 18 years of age. And like I said, if you ever knew my background, you probably know exactly why I said that. But then when I made it to the age of 21, and I actually said to myself, I think I might just make it. I made it to 21 years of age and I'm still alive. I might just make it. And like I said, it was because of a lot of factors that happened in my life and because of a lot of the people that I was actually connected with. It was because of the mindset and everything that I had. Because you want to know, until I got out of the realm of thinking that, you know, I was always going to be stuck right where I was, that, you know, that no one was going to actually do for me. And that's one of the biggest things out there right now. Someone catch on to it. Success isn't determined by what somebody's going to do for you. It's determined by what you're going to do for yourself, okay? And you being that positive agent of change in what? Your own life. You've got to make that decision, okay? There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have got to make the decision that you actually want to change. And, you know, I think the people that have actually sown in my life over the years and, like I said, saw in me what I couldn't see in myself. And folks, I mean, it's not difficult, okay? You just have to get up and make the decision. And you might say, well, I've been waiting to make the decision for the last 20 years. No, you're waiting for someone to do it for you. I'm just calling you out right now. I really am. I'm calling you out, and you might get mad or you might get excited. But for whatever reason, I'm trying to make some type of change happen on the inside of you right now. That's under the sound of my voice. Do what is necessary, okay? Do something. Do one little thing. If it's nothing but getting up 5 minutes earlier and just saying thank you for being alive 5 minutes earlier than that previous day. Hey, you started on your pathway to success. You know, I can go on and on and on in that particular type of, subject matter. But folks, look. Do something yet again in your area of success. And folks, a lot of us right now, we're living in, I guess we're going to just call it scarcity. All right. And you know, what is scarcity? It's basically, scarcity is basically, where it seems like you don't have enough. But, actually, scarcity is not the lack of, excess, but it's actually people just wanting enough, okay? Why is it that we have a level of success, some of us, about I just want to have enough? If I just have enough to take care of my bills, have a little food in the refrigerator, enough to put gas in my car until the next paycheck comes through, at the job or through the mailbox or however you get paid, guess what? You are in an area of scarcity, okay? It is foolish. It is outright foolish to actually have scarcity in your life when you have an opportunity to actually have so much more. Friends, look, I tell you, this is what we're talking about, all right? It's really, really important for you to actually elevate what your mindset is to actually receive from God what he has in store for you. And look, like I told you before, hey, yeah, God, his hand is on my life, is on my family's life, and you hear me referring to scripture and all these different things. But guess what? Whether you are saved or unsaved, look, it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to shove Jesus down anyone's life, but I am letting you know who's ahead of my life. But what is significant is get out of that bondage of the mental state that you may have, okay? Like I said, if you're tuning in, you are a friend, okay? This program is not only based upon it being for me, my family, and those that are connected with us. I told you before, this show is dedicated so that you can have a voice. Why do you think I'm giving out the phone number, the toll-free number, the local number for you to actually call in and voice what's on your heart? Voice your concerns, because you want to know something? What you might say will be the catalyst to actually set someone else free, to actually get them loose from what has them bound. So they're like, something? That's right. If they're going through whatever situation, it just may be that their situation is somewhat similar to mine. But look, if they've gotten through it, then guess what? I can get through it too. We just don't know about the things that we go through, how it will actually propel people more so into the success or whatever that's deemed and set aside for them. Okay. So when you go to bed at night, okay, and you review your day and like the events, what are you actually grateful for? Okay, what are you actually grateful for that's actually transpired through the day? What are you actually proud of? What actually makes you smile? I mean, if you actually go through a day and you at the end of the night, you cannot actually sit there and think about, or should I say lay there and say, hey, I'm grateful for this, or, I'm proud that this happened during the day, or something you're thinking about something that doesn't make you smile, folks, that may be an indicator that you're just, you're in a mundane life. You're just like, how I like to say in this, dry area. And I actually wrote this book called Why Is There Famine in My Marriage, and the picture and the cover on the front of it is actually a woman that's actually dressed in really refined clothes, but she's in the middle of this dry, barren wilderness desert type area, and literally it's a contradiction of, hey, how can you look the part of being successful but being unfulfilled? I mean, that should ring paramount in someone else's life right now. How can you actually try to fit the part of being successful but be so dry on the inside? And, so many people hold on to a false sense of what success really is. I'm not one of those individuals that are actually impressed by, what someone's doing, what someone's driving, what they're wearing, the finances that are coming in. What impresses me about someone when it comes to success? What impresses me is the impact that they're making, on the people that are around them. Now, if I can go in the midst of someone, think about this, okay? This is a sheer indicator. If you can go in the midst of someone and you ask whoever it is, okay, about a certain individual, what would those individuals actually say about you? I've drawn my conclusions about success about so many different people based upon probably overhearing a conversation or what they would say, or as I said, I think on previous broadcasts, maybe even yesterday, what would your own family say about you in the area of being successful? What would it be? Think about it. What would it be? Because for whatever reason, if your family comes up and you ask someone that's close to you, a close friend, coworker, and like I said, if they have to actually pause to think about something that needs to be said, that's kind of an indicator about what they actually think about you and what they feel as far as like your level of success, the impact that you're actually having on their lives. Hey, I'm just being real with it. It used to happen to me all the time. It's funny that how now a lot of the men that I actually like associate with and fellowship with, they and this sounds kind of funny. They've told me, just because of how you come up with something all the time, they've literally told me, we look forward to see what's going to come out of your mouth because it's different, like all the time. And a lot of them actually say, man, we look forward to hearing that because it literally takes us a little bit higher in our day. And because how are you able to see these certain things in our lives? And they're like, I never thought about that. And that's what it is in one facet to be successful. And I've told you folks, that's part of the purpose of why the Lord has me upon this earth, to actually look at people, help define those things that they can actually work on to actually help them to be successful. And it's not these things to where, hey, we're parting the Red Sea here to take you to your next level of success. It can just be something as far as, say if an individual is married, a man, married to his wife, okay, and they're there, and, they're talking, and God drops something in my spirit. Hey, why don't you just go ahead and encourage your wife and just say, hey, you're just so wonderful in my life. He may say, I love you every single day. But guess what? Ladies that are listening to this, sometimes you need a little bit more than I love you. Hey, like I said, I'm first partaker. I know God had to download it to me in my spirit. Sometimes saying, I love you can just be kind of repetitive and mundane. It can just be like what an expected thing to actually say. So, hey, why not switch it up and say, hey, sweetie, or, honey, or, whatever your little pet name is out there for your spouse, and, put a little extra emphasis on the word. And I mean, it changes the entire meaning of it. Or what is it that you actually go to work and then, you actually really want to progress up the lines? What would stop you from actually going to your supervisor and actually asking, hey, what can I do to get ahead, in this company? And then a lot of people will actually look at you, especially your supervisor, with these like big wide eyes, like, wow, no one's actually asked me what it's going to take to get ahead. And, that person begins to show you favor and starts to instill more in your life. You might be saying, well, you don't know my supervisor. Well, guess what? I may not know your supervisor, but I know the individual that's listening to this right now, because if you're listening to me, you actually do want to get ahead and define what your level of success is in your life. What is your moment, people? What is your moment right now when it's time, when it's Fire It Up Friday? What is it that's going to bring you into your level of success as we go further in your moment? Welcome back to In the Moment with Courtier Kuzan. Hey, Fire It Up Friday, folks. And look, we've been talking about what is your definition of success. I mean, we've covered a lot of good topics today, and I tell you what, we can just go on and on and on and on. I mean, because success is ever changing, it's ever defining people's lives. And like I said, you may have enough that's going, from paycheck to paycheck. That can be your success, okay? And, you may actually have, a little bit to where you're putting a little bit in your savings, maybe an extra $100. That can be a level of success. So you may have finally stepped out in faith and, started that business. And, it may not look great in the beginning, but as long as you are doing it, guess what? That's a level of success. And you may actually be getting up each and every day during the process of going through the grind, as it's called, and, doing all that's necessary to make impacts on people and be that positive agent of change as far as like in your family, your community, or your place of employment, whatever it may be. There are different levels of success. But the main thing is, don't determine your level of success as compared to someone else's level of success. So now, some questions, in this last segment that we have about what you really need to ask yourself when it comes to determining if you are actually successful, okay? Now, folks, excuse me, friends, the main thing is this. Friends, the main thing is this. Are you happy? I'm going to say it really clear. And whatever you are doing, are you happy? If you are doing something and you are not happy in doing it, okay, it kind of sounds like an oversimplification, but why are you doing it? Okay? Why are you actually doing it? And some of you might, hey, look, man, you just don't realize I got to pay these bills. You know something? I actually realized that. But I've actually seen people that have been more fulfilled in having 2 part-time jobs than having 1 full-time job that they actually hate. And that's real deal. Okay, that's real deal. I've seen people that, have left 6-figure salary jobs to start out on the ground level to where they were scrimping and saving and watching every penny that comes into the household to start their own businesses. But guess what? They have been happy. And I've actually seen people that have been entrepreneurs and business owners that were making X amount of dollars, in their companies. And it wasn't the money that was making them happy. It was actually giving the money away and impacting people's lives, and they received happiness from that. But the main point that you need to remember, why are you doing something right now in your life if you're trying to define what it is to be successful and you're not happy doing it? 2, folks, friends, can you pay your bills? Can you pay your bills? Are you living beyond your means? Okay. If you have to struggle each and every week, okay, every other week, and I know like we had everything that had with the government and stuff like that, and not going to get into all of that. I know those were circumstances beyond a lot of people's control. I understand that, okay? I understand that. But before you even got to that point, were you able to pay your bills? I mean, would you have considered yourself successful before that, okay? A lot of people right now cannot even define what success is in their lives because they are not even able to pay their bills. And you might say, well, if I had enough money, like a lot of these people that are making $100,000, $200,000, whatever it is a year, hey, I know I would be successful. Let me give you some insight. I don't have enough fingers and toes to let you know the people that I know that make $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, even $1 million a year that are unable to pay their bills. Because why? Their mental state is not reflecting the outside thing of, what should I say? Their mental state is reflecting the outside state because they are not mentally successful. And, in turn, they can't project that on the outside. So there are different people on all the different levels that can't pay their bills. So don't allow that to be a hindrance in your life. Now, like I said before, how do you actually define what success is? Are you actually allowing your circumstances to define what your level of success is? I said this to people, hey, you've got the utility bills and things that come in, and, whether you have whatever bills you have coming into your house. And, it may seem funny to you, and, you may have heard someone say this, but, I don't allow those things to actually cause me issues anymore. When the bills come in, even when the money, even though the finances are there, I lift those things up and I said, Jesus, you got mail. I gave it over to Jesus a long time ago. Jesus, you got mail. You might say, well, you're just, being fanciful or whatever. You're just trying to make somebody just put their hopes and dreams in a pie on the sky type mentality. No, I've refused to allow those certain things to hold me down and hold me back, because the things that you dwell on the most that do not contribute to your success level, guess what? You will never go forward in life and always dwelling on the things that are actually impacting your life in a negative way. Now, what can you do, okay, now that you were not able to do a year ago, 5 years ago? Has anything changed? I mean, I've said it before. The true definition of insanity, and it's said over and over and over and over again, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Are you going through the motions and doing the same thing over and over in your life? And I'm not trying to pull anybody down, friends. I'm just trying to let you know that it is going to make some type of change that's going to need to happen. Pick up a book on success. Listen as you're listening to this radio broadcast. This is like the first step, okay? This is a first step for you, but this is not the only step for you. Okay, you need to actually take even more steps towards going towards your level of success. And one another point, what are you most proud of? What are you most proud of right now that you've done in this new year that's actually carrying you towards your level of success? What are you actually proud of? What is it that's actually building that firm foundation to where you can actually start putting up the walls, okay? How we want to say, put up the sheetrock, do everything that you need to do. That's building out the structure of what success is in your life. What is that most proud moment that you've had thus far? And it could have been you actually registering for some type of vocational training or going and getting your GED, or, possibly instead of always putting money in, I don't know, whatever it is that you're putting money to trying to maintain it, to where you actually stepped out and went and got something newer or something that's brand new, or, maybe actually A level of success for a parent is actually helping them to go further in a level of education as opposed to what you actually receive. What is that proud moment? And then one last point, folks, before we close out on today. Are you working towards something? And it may sound like I've covered this and I may have actually touched on, but what are you working towards? Are you working on being a better you? Are you working on towards being more impactful? Are you working on towards being a better spouse? What are you working towards? Folks, work towards something. Work towards that image of what success is on the inside of you. Work towards being the best possible you, possibly not what you see, but the best possible you that God sees. Because remember, God looks to the heart of a man, not to the exterior. And he sees the end from the beginning. And guess what? Success has already been established for you. But what are you going to do right now in your moment, on this Fire Up Friday, in your moment today, to define what your success is? Take care, and I'll see you on Motivation Monday in your moment.